Good morning. I'm honoured by this opportunity to be with you virtually today in the beautiful city of Berlin, when in fact I'm physically in the beautiful city of Guadalajara, Mexico, for ITU's Plenipotentiary Conference. Such is the miracle of modern technology. In this case, technology, video coding, revolutionized by ITU. With this award-winning ITU-T H264 video codec, I have long been impressed by the focus and reputation of ICIN. As you may know, it's not the first time that ITU has formed a formal association with the organizers. This is a crucial time for the industry. Today we find ourselves in an era of transition, seeking to cope with the many challenges of a new digital world. The last 2 decades have witnessed the ascendancy of the internet, touching upon nearly every facet of our lives, professional and private. They have heralded the privatization of the telecommunications market in many countries, the rise of telecommunication regulators around the world, and the advent of mobile telephony. Any single one of these trends can be described as revolutionary. In this digitally converged era, where the marginal costs of providing information over many of our networks is virtually zero, and precepts of charging customers according to time, distance, or call duration are evaporating, many of the traditional assumptions on which our telecommunication business models are based no longer apply. Today, a single search algorithm or revolutionary piece of software can overturn an established industry worth many billions of dollars in the space of a few years. This is why the International Telecommunications Regulations, the international treaty governing telecommunications between countries that was adopted 22 years ago, is being revised by the ITU at a world conference that will take place in 2012. Next generation networks, NGNs, have emerged as one of the key facilitating technologies for bringing about this ICT revolution. Many of you will be familiar with the strong association between NGN and ITU going back to 2003. In NGN, service-related functions are independent of underlying transport-related technologies. This means that service providers will be able to respond much more quickly to new service requirements. One of the most highly visible services to emerge as part of the work on NGN is IPTV. Indeed, IPTV can be seen as both the business case and principal driver for accelerating development of NGN. Many standards on IPTV have been developed in ITU. In fact, industry sent out a strong message of support for ITU standards for Internet Protocol TV at an event held at ITU headquarters a few weeks ago. Gathered in Geneva for the first of a new series of ITU interoperability events, IPTV manufacturers took part in a set of tests to demonstrate seamless global interoperability between their various IPTV products, which have been manufactured to comply with ITU-T recommendations. Clearly, stable global standards will be key to take-up of IPTV. They will avoid costly and confusing format wars, which reduce costs and for the consumers. Proprietary solutions may offer fast deployment in the short term, but in the medium and longer term, buyers will be subject to vendor lock-in, with the risk of costly upgrades, and also reduced content and hardware choice. Industry consortia-based standards are mostly regional specific, with little or no implementation. Many companies now selling TV and set-top box products based on ITU-T's IPTV terminal standard, ITU-T H721, with products already available in countries including Brazil, China, Japan, Korea, France, and many other countries. In Japan and China, services based on ITU IPTV standards are deployed and boast several million subscribers already. A test service is being conducted in Singapore, and there's interest in setting up test beds in India and Canada. Whether for IPTV, video, home networking, telepresence, mobile phone chargers, access and transport technologies, ITU standards are the result of detailed international discussions, which have included many developing countries. These take into consideration various aspects of technologies, including IPRs, maturity, stability and market adoption, leading to standards that provide for high quality and low cost. Ladies and gentlemen, the ubiquitous networks that will seamlessly connect anyone, anytime, anywhere, by anything, requires global standards, and a global standards body like ITU clearly has an increasing role to play. Without these standards, global ICT development and deployment would be slow and inefficient. Conformity to these standards will foster an environment where service providers can pick and choose equipment from a variety of vendors and will greatly increase the probability of interoperability. This will increase competition and bring down costs. Conformity and interoperability is something we will be placing much greater emphasis on in ITU standards work in the future. ITU was formed in 1865 with the aim of ensuring interoperability of the innovative International Telegraph Service, and our aim remains the same to this day, even though it is now much more challenging with the increasing complexity of today's telecommunications and ICT equipment and services. Standards are a proven and key driver in the successful growth and deployment of new ICT products and services and applications. And while there are many examples of successful standards collaboration, a fragile economic environment and an ICT ecosystem characterized by convergence makes it all the more important to streamline and clarify the standardization landscape. This is a key challenge for standardizers today. And together with key Chief Technology Officers from the ICT world, ITU has agreed on a number of concrete actions that will help to move us forward to this goal. The standardization landscape has become complicated and fragmented, with hundreds of different industry forums and consortia. It has become increasingly tough to prioritize standardization resources. ITU is providing for a review to clarify the standardization scenario, to allow ICT companies to make more efficient use of resources and ensure that standards development in the most appropriate bodies takes place benefiting both industry and users. An eventual outcome could be a web portal providing information on the interrelationship of standards and standards bodies, which would facilitate the work of industry and standards makers, while promoting cooperation and collaboration and avoiding duplication. The first report on this work will be made in Paris on the 29th of October. I'm sure you will agree this is an enormously valuable initiative, and I strongly believe it will help many of you in your work and make for a more efficient standards environment. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in Berlin. I wish I was there physically to be with you, but I look forward to seeing many of you soon. Thank you for your attention.